Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the DreamHack Open here live from Leipzig, Germany. We're getting on through day number 2. We have 7 teams through? 6 teams through. We have 6 teams through out of 8 going on into tomorrow. So we're almost there. Again, trying to find out which 8 teams will advance to Championship Sunday. And we just had a great match there. Gale Force able to take down Fnatic to advance on through to tomorrow. And the match we have upcoming might be a bit of a surprise because it involves, guess who lost to a North American Rival Series team in DreamHack. And I don't mean to undervalue just how good these teams are, but a lot of people might not have expected that. Let's take a look at the group picture for what we're working on right now. Again, DreamHack, the Dudes, Guess, and Juicy Kids. The match we have is going to be the Dudes versus Guess Who. And what a storyline from the Dudes as well. You know, coming through the North American qualifiers was surprise enough, and then they're actually having a really good tournament. They were able to take out Juicy Kids a little bit earlier today, and now they're in this position to play against Guess Who to be able to go on to Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, the Juicy Kids already a strong team, so for the Dudes to be able to beat them, I think I remember speaking about it yesterday with Wavepunk. They have a huge list of great teams that they beat all the way to make it through that open qualifier, and so to see them make it this far, at first it was a surprise, but I feel like these guys really have the momentum behind them and can take this all the way.
That being said, Joralilin totally posted on Twitter, he's like, guys, how do we beat Guess Who? And he tagged all the DreamHack guys, so asking for a friend. So Joralilin looking for a few tips.
Maybe they had a little conversation to try to figure that out, but it's pretty obvious Guess Who, a very strong team, and DreamHack even stronger. And we talk about, all right, North America versus Europe, throw any assumptions out the window because we're getting even matches. I mean, it feels like these regions are completely even up to this point. So for me, as far as just trying to predict this, it's incredibly difficult. We'll get to predictions a little bit later, but this is our second to last match of the day. And both of these next 2 matches are going to determine our last 2 teams that will be joining our existing 6 teams in the final 8 bracket tomorrow. So, the Dudes. Oh man, this team. Coming through the North American qualifiers, we have absolutely no idea where they came from necessarily. There you see Joro on your screen, and you know, one of their existing team members couldn't actually make it to the tournament, so you have Illusion joining them, and this is going to be the first time, I believe, that we're seeing the Dudes actually on the main stage. So I think what an awesome feeling for them, playing in front of all these amazing German fans and being able to be in this scenario on the main stage, on the main broadcast, with the chance of advancing to the top 8 of an incredibly prestigious tournament.
Okay, well, Illusion, I mean, that must have worked out for him because him coming from Team Allegiance, this guy has played in the RLCS. He's experienced with these higher quality teams. He knows what to expect, and he's going to be there to help his team kind of stay calm, collected under all the pressure that comes from being on this main stage.
But that being said, this is the first time they've really been on a big stage. So.
Well, we saw a success story with Yukio earlier for Flipside, his first time out of LAN.
Very true.
It could very easily see another one here with the Dudes.
But they don't have Kutsu.
Hey, maybe they don't need him. Maybe they don't need him, all right?
And honestly, they have a fair amount of momentum, like able to able to take out the Juicy Kids. A lot of people might not have expected that. And meanwhile, Guess Who, as we're seeing Fairy Peak here, they're coming off of a loss against DreamHack, and that might be a matchup that they were like, okay, we can probably win this. But no, they ended up losing, and now they're in this point. So if I'm Guess Who, you know, there is no, you don't want a false sense of security. You don't want to write this off by any means. They have 2 zeros in their name. They're from North America. That doesn't matter right now.
They've got numbers in their name.
They made it to this point. Sorry, Gibbs, right? They made it to this point, so do not count the Dudes out. I really hope that, you know, Guess Who just stays on top of their game and doesn't psych themselves out about that, but they're a team with so much experience. It's time to ask the Twitch chat, though. What do you guys think? Use hashtag the Dudes or hashtag Guess Who, and let us know who you think will win this game. And I think those are 2 capital O's, not 2 numerical zeros.
No, they're totally zeros.
Are they zeros?
Well,
don't mess with Twitch chat. What are you saying? They're O's.
Twitch chat.
Oh,
They're
you mean
O's.
for that?
Yeah,
for that Twitch chat.
Yes.
For that, they're totally O's.
Okay, so type in the Twitch chat DOODS, all capitalized, if you think the Dudes are going to take this, and type out hashtag Guess Who if you think Guess Who is going to take it. And now it is time for our predictions. Chiefs, start with you once again.
There's too much experience, too much talent. Quinn Lobdell's best player in the world. There's no way.
And Shogun?
Yep,
And
Shogun agreed with me.
And there's no way you can go against Guess Who here.
Well, Fairy Peak, I said he's the best player in the world for me, at least, and Shogun as well. And in that series against Dignitas, I thought that his performance in that series was not so great. He really actually caused a lot of the problems I felt for Guess Who, but I can't go against him. I think he's going to get it all together.
I mean,
this team is just too experienced, and one bad series is not enough, I think, to throw them off their game.
But guys, don't you understand? This is exactly where the dudes want to be. don't you guys realize?
On the verge
like,
of moving into the money? Yeah, that's where I'd like to be too.
Every match leading up to this point, the dudes have been the underdogs. Everyone's like, no, they're not going to win. No, who are they? We don't know who they are. That being said, I have to go with Guess Who because, like, again, to echo everything you guys are saying, like, Guess Who is too strong, and I'm gonna pick, you know, based on the numbers and based on the history. But that doesn't mean I don't think the dudes can't take this. Based on what we've seen this tournament, we've seen so many upsets. I think it's certainly possible.
That is true.
I want to see what Twitch chat has to say right now, and hopefully. Oh my God!
Wow!
Are you kidding me?
90%. You know, I really hope the dude
achieves because he said 2 zeros.
That's
so
totally valid.
I'm going to say at least.
I will admit.
I'm going to say at least 20% of people were typing out 2 zeros instead of 2 capital
I's. I may have tainted the results of that one. I will own that.
Thank you,
Shogun, Gregan, what do you think of the Twitch chat reaction there? 5% in favor of the dudes. Would you give them a little bit more credit than that?
What do I think? I think 95 is a ridiculously high number.
It is. I don't know if you can count that high, Shogun.
Let's not. I mean, yeah, whatever.
All right, you guys.
What's that?
It's a sign that I didn't mean to say it. Oops.
I don't believe you, Gregan. Guys, this is the battle between 2 Rocket League teams, not 2 commentators. So it is time to find out who's going to be our next team moving on to tomorrow. Is it the dudes or is it Guess Who? Greg and Shogun, take it away, guys.
Like the battle between us, I think this game is going to be very one-sided. And that is because Guess Who have just got so much experience. Are you thinking the same thing? I think everyone's thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same as you. I'd wreck you in a 1v1, mate. But this is going to be a very important match for both of these teams. And taking away our little rivalry aside, this has become an interesting story for the dudes overall. As we look at them, and you've often had teams that come through these qualifying tournaments, and yeah, you think, okay, it's a one-off. They managed to do it one day. But then they take part in more tournaments, and they get more results of the same. At which point do we look at it and just go, yeah, they're actually really good.
We've been wanting an underdog story this whole tournament. We've been asking for a European bubble team and saying, which one of you can perform and show us the depth of Europe? But no, the dudes is the underdog story here at DreamHack Open, and they will be trying one more time as Guess Who is here to try and battle them into the lower and get them out of this tournament.
Here's Joro. Up immediately. He's got the frowny face back. He keeps changing faces throughout series, so keep an eye out for that. Fairy Peak now automatically trying to leave his own ball. Playing laterally to avoid Guess Who from being in a tough defensive position. Now Freaky over to the corner. I think Guess Who have made more side-to-side progress than they've made forward progress so far in this game, but finally with the ball in the dude's half. Pashi will win the ball outright. That could potentially be a setup. Fairy Peak moving forward. Can't quite get the double tap, and it will be eventually cleared away as Freaky does get blocked. Illusion was there, and there's going to be a shot on target. Fairy Peak can't get there in time. Dudes only needed one chance to score a goal.
One good challenge on Freaky and one good challenge on Pashi, and that's a goal. And I want to really ask a question here. How are dudes going to play? Because we just don't know. We haven't seen them yet at DreamHack. They're very new to the scene in terms of North America and being at the top. So we really don't know what to expect from them.
Absolutely, and I actually want to bring attention to their recruitment policy when they brought in Illusion to be their sub for this tournament. A player that's already been a part of a major tournament run that no one was really expecting back when Allegiance qualified for Season 4 of the RLCS. So they've got experience on their side for being an underdog. It's Fairy Peak. He's got Pashi to aim for. Plays it pretty long, but Pashi can still shadow around and wait for the ball to come towards him, which will finally happen. Seems like Guess Who are happy to try and play an aerial game, but hasn't quite been implemented just yet, because every single time they try and do it, no one's around to follow up. Ball played off the backboard. Here's the shot from Fairy Peak. But the dudes have players on the goal line. Now more pressure coming through. No shots really on target. Guess Who have peppered everywhere except for the center of the goal.
Oh, it's so vital at this level to be able to put your shots on target in those pressure situations, because one good shot compared to no good shots is a very big difference, and it's a big question we're asking of Guess Who. They've not been as consistent as we've seen in previous tournaments. They've been in a lot of big tournaments recently, and perhaps that break, the off-season break, has affected their ability to be as good at shooting.
The dudes trying to find a way out. That infield pass will take out two players, but Axe will still be around, and he's done an incredible job of solo playing this. Might go the entire way, forces Fairy Peak to block, but Illusion with the shadow makes it two.
Freaky charged in a bit too early there. He didn't have a good opportunity, and Axe dribbles that through into Fairy Peak, who, while he was still recovering from that challenge, gets beaten to the ball, and that is going to put dudes in the lead again. And Guess Who? Not looking so good.
Absolutely. Joro leaves the ball as the ball goes off the backboard. The dudes have got half the game just to hold on to a 2-goal lead. Considering what I've seen from them, I wouldn't be surprised if they made it 3. They haven't had many offensive opportunities, but the ones they have had, they've managed to convert, and that is wasteful. Putting the ball straight over to Illusion, who can play it straight to a pass. And now the dudes have got offense, and they will convert for goal number 3. I would not be surprised if they're 100% on their shooting accuracy right now.
They're just not giving any space to Guess Who. You see their Pashi thinking he's got a chance to put that forward, but charging in is this wonderful dudes team. I'm so impressed with what we've seen so far. I didn't know what I was going to expect, but it's just been smart. Nothing crazy, just really clever Rocket League.
Joro has got Illusion to aim for. Very good link-up plays so far to remove the pressure from their side of the field. I don't actually know why Joro has gone flying past our screen just there. Seems like he just made a mechanical misplay on his jump. Now Joro looks for the infield pass, but Fairy Peak has read it well. As Guess Who have a lot of work to do if they want to get back into game 1. Another pass. Fairy Peak can't get it, but that could still set up Freaky. Just too far forward. Gets the ball taken away from him. Joro still down in the midfield. I'm looking at Joro right now, and he seems very much like an a-lot-style player. Just hang around, wait for the ball to come to him, and he's causing so much damage.
Yeah, mischief player, especially in these later stages when you're ahead, can really waste a lot of time because you're just not expecting them. You don't give the space to the team to push up and create a goal. Guess you haven't even been dangerous, that's why.
Absolutely. I mean, when we speak to a lot about his play style, which is very similar to what we're seeing right now, he says it's because he trusts Metzenaris and Magnus so much.
Oh, what an angle. Fairy Peak.
Ooh, maybe, just maybe, Guess Who have a chance to make it back to this match. Axe was actually got a little swipe taken at him as he tried to clear the ball away. Fairy Peak converts. That's his first goal out of 5 shots.
Yeah, and that hopefully will give Guess Who a boost. I'm sure they're not going to be too happy with the way they performed for the rest of this game, but props to dudes. They've done very well up to this stage, especially when it comes to offense. Like you said, they're very consistent, a high shooting percentage. It seems like their plays always seem to be working, but now this final burst of energy needs to come out from Guess Who if they want to win game 1. Otherwise, dudes will be going in with an advantage.
Oh, Joro making mistakes as well, forcing Illusion to move forward. Fairy Peak can go 2 for 1 with that play. Pashi comes out. Just a little bit loose, not going to trouble Illusion, who can finally boom the ball back downfield. But Guess Who? Turning it around pretty quickly. They need a goal quick. They want to try and make one final go at this match. Illusion tries to get forward, but can't get there in time. Axe now on the wall. Yep, this is very good time wasting indeed, and Fairy Peak forced to play just for the save. Pashi's actually over the top, but Joro can turn around and easily gather up the save. So the dudes, we said they were the underdogs, but do you believe in them now? They are going to take game number 1.
Just because they've been off stream doesn't mean they've been playing badly. They are a quality team. The reason why we didn't see them on stream is because they got through the group stages cleanly without taking a loss. And they're here today. They've done well. They have had 1 loss, but now they're showing how good they can be. And I think this is the real question now. Are they just in a good phase, or is this what we're going to see in the future? Because dudes are looking good for 2018.
Absolutely. These might be names that we're not going to have to pay attention to throughout the month of January, but for the entire year put together. It just looks so composed up there. You would not even think to yourself for a second that these were guys that came through from an online qualifier as an upset. They look like seasoned professionals up there right now.
Yeah, as we said during that game, everything they're doing is very smart, and they're not missing the ball very often, which creates that consistency. It allows you to create pressure, absorb pressure, and they're just positioning nicely. They know where each other is, not many double commits, all those kind of things that you want to see out of a team that's been together for ages. But as you mentioned, Illusion came in last moment, so I don't know what it is. These guys have just clicked so perfectly.
Guess who? They need to keep an eye out for Joro. He tore them apart in that opening half of the game. They found him every single time, and his touches were just so clean. Not necessarily on target, but instead putting it up towards the backboard and really forcing Guess Who to move. They're often unable to reach it. The dudes will be able to take control straight from the kickoff, but Freaky comes down. He might be able to get a block. Zax just gets the ball away. Do Guess Who have answers to the dude's play style? This is what it needs to happen, but what an infield passing play. Still offense going. Guess Who seem to have returned to their major problem against DreamHack, which was those double commits. You need to keep the communication going and not allow that to become a problem yet again. I tell you what isn't a problem, however, and that is Pashi's shooting accuracy.
Pashi has every right to double commit to this one because he has a powerful shot towards net, recognizes it, but still, that's a question. Why is Fairy Peak going for that? I mean, it's still Pashi, beautiful shot. I want to credit that. Obviously, they're goal up now, but the lack of trust in Fairy Peak that his teammate is coming in the right position, that is worrying for Guess Who, because that's going to be consistent throughout the rest of the series.
Absolutely, you are correct to question it. Joro wanted to pass infield, but Illusion had already followed him up, so cannot find him. Now Fairy plays it all the way back. Illusion would have loved to try to get a block. Joro does have boost to keep control going, but he's actually going to give it up to Fairy Peak, who is getting a little bit impatient. He seems to have been impatient ever since Game 3 against DreamHack.
That's a breakaway.
Now Pashi goes for a shot. Illusion can charge that one down. Fairy Peak with the follow, and it's not quite powerful enough. I think he might have overplaced that one rather than just powering it down the middle because it gave enough time for the dudes to recover.
And another double commit. Freaky and Pashi both in the air. Something we can definitely credit dudes on so far, as they've looked very well spaced out and they haven't seemed to have gone for similar things. But perhaps that is what's working for this Guess Who team this game. They've just been that a little bit more aggressive. Dudes need to find a new way through, and that could be it. Illusion getting himself a goal.
Every single player from Guess Who on their left-hand side. No one covering the net.
Ooh.
That is always a danger. You've got to keep an eye out for those wall challenges because they've only got one way, and that is to move infield. If that's towards your net, you're in trouble.
Yeah, and the way that challenge was completed by Illusion, he rolled across the ball so that when that ball popped into the middle, he maintained that forward pressure on the ball, sending it towards the net. So credit to dudes. It may have looked like a little bit of a lucky goal, but it was definitely forced luck, and that's going to be another one. Ooh.
Fairy Peak, he can't get there. It's just about squeezed in. And the dudes have the lead with 3 minutes remaining.
Fairy Peak needs to be able to save that one. He didn't need to hit it on the first touch. He could have taken a touch and flicked it away, and that has caused another goal to go in. Dudes, the underdogs, are really showing up today.
And all they've had to do so far is clear, because every single goal they have scored has been from them catching Guess Who off guard. The follow-up shot not quite there. Joro puts it up high. Now, will Axby think about turning around? No, he's going to respect Freaky and the potential passing play that was there. Lovely negative angle there from Joro, but it will go back over to Pashi. The dudes need to keep trying for more goals as there's still loads of time left in this match. Fairy Peak read that one incredibly well, and that's actually a misplay. He can try and force the ball in, not quite able to. Lucian can't pinch in the way he wanted. Axby looks for a teammate, but those crossfield passing plays usually so difficult to do as long as someone is in defense. Freaky's got time. Just about gets there as the boost spawned, and he's going to be very happy about that. As the ball played straight down, while those long ball plays more relying on the dudes to make a huge misplay than to actually be that dangerous. You see the dude now starting to feel a little bit more comfortable on this 1-goal lead. Balls that they would originally try to challenge in the air and maybe try and win. They're not going for any more. Oh, it's XP almost able to flick the ball straight down. Solid rotation so far from the dudes.
You've got to remember these two teams both came here through the qualifiers. They both came through the losers bracket, so you could say they're almost equal, North America and European teams. But that is not something you'd expect if you looked at the team names. But they have come through the qualifiers and deserve to go forward because they are playing well at the moment.
Absolutely, but guess who? Looking stronger now ever since the 2-minute mark was hit. That's actually a really poor touch, going to allow XP to put it off the backboard. Follow up from Joro, and yet again required to move in. Can't quite make contact. That would have set it up really dangerously for the dudes to make it a 2-goal lead. But now with a minute remaining, the focus shifts to simply not conceding.
It's a nice play by Freaky, takes past a few, but there is Joro at the back, smart defense. And interesting, we said before, we don't know how dudes are going to play. I was expecting them to be one of those teams that misses, and the misses themselves are what throw off their opposition. They just are so consistent with their touches. They're hitting everything. And in fact, it's probably more Guess Who are the ones who are missing and accidentally misplaying, which they're just not used to.
Berry takes the ball. He hasn't got too much control, however. And you can see dudes going for slingshot defense, bring someone back and then charge them forward after they've reboosted. Not allowing Guess Who too much room to work with. Fairy Peak off the backboard. Joro is up there ready and waiting, and Illusion will go for a shot downfield. More of a clear that turned into a shot. However, time still ticking away. Fairy Peak, can he be the difference maker? He is. We asked for him to step up against DreamExpo, and he didn't. We've asked for him to step up against the dudes, and he has.
That chance presented itself through a good challenge with Freaky by the wall, and that pops into the middle. Fairy Peak meets that early, and he meets it hard. He hits that ball in 127 kilometers an hour. Anything above 100 is fast, but when you start reaching those kind of numbers, that is unstoppable. Oh, there's a chance, Illusion!
Oh my goodness, almost dropping before we even hit overtime. Guess Who? Almost getting a little bit too lax, as if they expected overtime to just be a given. The dudes will not let you rest upon that. As we do head into overtime, 1 goal to take this win. Joro up on the wall, him and Illusion both committed. I'll leave one player back as they both start to rotate. Fairy Peak, once again, trying to go solo. Almost gets the flick. Definitely think about it, but to pull that off in this sort of game would have been ridiculous.
Looked like he went for an almost musty flick starting.
Yeah, what I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah, scoop it back up. It's not dangerous enough at the moment. Dudes are holding themselves well.
Fairy Peak turning back around. Actually somewhat awkward to deal with as Illusion forced to get contact. Guess Who will actually miss the ball. Fairy playing along yet again. He can actually set himself up for a follow-up. Does drop down, and Fairy Peak grabs the brace and grabs game 2 for Guess Who.
How have they managed to do that? Both Freaky and Pashy fly up to the ball and miss it. And you see Fairy Peak alone, he just goes, okay, I'll score for you guys. And that wins them the game in overtime, 3-2. So now the scores are level in the series, 1-1. And I don't want to say that was a good win from Guess Who. That was, they got a few chances at the right moments, and as a consequence took the game. They need to step it up if they want to be able to prove why they should win it. Dudes, just keep doing the same. You're playing really well.
Guess Who are making a bit of a habit of scoring with 8 seconds remaining now. You can see Fairy Peak seems to be doing more and more individual plays as we see him throughout today. But yeah, that was a bit of an anticlimactic goal to what was an incredible game. But Guess Who will not care about that. They've got their first win on the board.
Yeah, that's a victory, no matter how scrappy it is. But we want to see the step up from both teams, because this is to earn a spot in the top 8 of one of the most stacked Rocket League competitions to date. And you want to prove to the rest of that 8 why you're there. And you want to show that you're a presence that's scary. And dudes, throughout the qualifier and this tournament, have shown that they can be consistent, that they aren't just a one-off. Guess Who need to find their form that they found in late 2017 and bring it here.
For Freaky and Pashy, there's even more on the line for that. This is their home crowd. This is their German brethren coming to take a look at them taking this game to the dudes. You know they want to take game 3 and carry that national pride into Championship Sunday. But they need to get past a dude squad that is very real, I guarantee. Very Peak seems to be slowly ramping up his abilities the more we see him.
We saw Pashy90 in the recent times calling himself Rusty90, and I wonder if that is the case of this team. Perhaps enjoying the off-season a bit too much away from Rocket League. And we noticed earlier on Gale Force stepped up to their former selves, and that could be happening here for Guess Who, because eventually they'll click again, they'll find that form. And for Dude's sake, they want to hope that that doesn't come now, because they are so close to making it to day 3.
Absolutely, 2 games is all either team needs. And they will head on. Lovely flick from Freaky. This is roughly the area I want to see Guess Who play this game. Get into the air, win those challenges. Well, the dudes have got some serious aerial prowess on their own time.
Oh, that's a goal.
I think he wanted anything but that.
Yeah, that touch from Joro really put pressure on Freaky, because he had to challenge an incoming player as the last man back. And that did set up a situation where the ball was near to the goal and players were returning, and Pashy, as you said, didn't want that touch. He had to do something, and that was exactly what he didn't want to do.
Yeah, the idea was right. The situation just didn't turn out how it was supposed to. And the dudes will take a lead yet again. Hopefully they've learned their lesson. They got very defensive last time. Offered Guess Who an opportunity to take the offense and finally score with 8 seconds remaining. That actually really took its toll heading into overtime, because dudes instantly got to switch their style of play. They need to keep the offense going now and play almost as if it's 0-0.
Of course. 0-0 is the best way to think about any sport, esport, any game where you need to win. Because as soon as you back off and start going too defensive, too passive, the opposition will find a way eventually.
So dudes now moving forward. Freaky got up high. The backboard. Dude's currently playing the ball in the middle. Maybe options over to the side in the case of Joro, but instead cleared away by Guess Who. Suddenly the pace has slowed down as the dudes try and just settle on their lead. The slower this game, the better it is for them. Although don't be surprised if Guess Who will then adapt, start going for more bumping plays.
Oh, good boost steal.
Freaky still had plenty to work with, though. It was a boost steal. It would have been maybe more effective if Freaky was down to 20. But he still had about 86, so he's going to really feel bad about that. He was missing 14. But Joro, that was a ludicrously powerful shot on target, and the dudes are now even more comfortable.
So cleanly struck, and that's probably the 5th time we've seen Pashy this series. Take a small touch, wait to see what the opposition does, and they're just charging them down, and they're winning out those challenges, putting it into the middle. And that did allow Joro a very close range, powerful shot, and Fairy Peak could not react in time. And those 2 goals put them very much in the lead, and dudes will be comfortable now. They just need to maintain pressure. As you said, it's 0-0 again for them.
Plays in the middle. Dudes have got half this game left to hold on to a 3-goal lead. This is getting dangerous now for Guess Who. They are offering the dudes all the space in the world.
Just notice how well the dudes are striking this ball. They're hitting it powerfully, and it's catching Guess Who off guard. Just there, Axe B finds the backboard. No one was ready for it. He was able to follow it up himself and get a goal. Dudes, you are hitting this ball well.
Absolutely. Back into the air. Pashy will be beat. That could be on target. Joro called off the ball. There's actually every single play from the dudes forward, but will be cut out. Axe over to Joro. He's meant to make this dangerous. 2 players committed, allowing Lucian to take control. He's going to try and go underneath. What a great individual play. But Fairy Peak on the goal line will shut that down. But still, Guess Who need to find some offense, and this might be it from Fairy Peak. That's 1 down.
A lot to go, though. 2 more goals to even level the score. Fairy Peak goes up, reads that better than all 3 of dudes. As you can see, Axe, the only one left on the ground. He could not react to Fairy Peak's shot as that goes in. And what we are seeing here is Guess Who are not working together to create these chances. It seems to be solo plays, and mostly from Fairy Peak. They need to find each other out, use themselves as a team like dudes are.
Joro up high. Can tap this straight down. Follow-up will not be coming in. The dudes going to go for a 2-1 defense. Prioritize keeping the lead. Lucian can take the ball down. See everyone already back. Lucian doesn't really want to go for net there. Instead, just keep his team safe and go for a slower play. Means more time wasted. Joro would like to have got that down a little bit further to maybe set up for a teammate. Pashi is bumped away. Minute and 10 now remaining. 2 goals still separating these teams. And Joro needs to be first here. Wins the mid-air challenge. XB with yet another long clear. This is really smart play from the dudes. Forcing this into a clear style of game. Waiting to see who's rotating which will break down first. And guess who's struggling to make any opportunities ever since their goal went in.
This is a chance, so Pashi onto the net, saved away. With rotations coming in from dudes. Both sides of the goal covered from people coming opposite directions, and that's going to be a shot. Axe B, 30 seconds to go. I think that's a secure in goal, and now they are going to be taking game 3 and putting themselves on match point.
Add Freaky to the Pashi list right there of poor first touches in defense. I just don't think they've recognized this yet, that the dudes don't care. They're chasing you down. Don't leave the ball loose. Keep it at least close to your car so you can force a challenge.
That's another chance.
It's a little bit too slow, however. Fairy Peak would like to try and turn around. But 3 goals in 20 seconds is a near impossible task, especially after Pashi was demoed. Freaky will get up. It's going to be dangerous enough, but Joro already on the backboard can clear, and the dudes are going to be 1 game away. Our online qualifiers out of nowhere. They could be going to Championship Sunday because they are 1 match off.
What a huge increase in respect they have gained in this last week or so. The dudes, not only are you getting your results in both online and at this event, but you look great. Just everything they do looks so controlled, and that is when Rocket League is beautiful, when you know the players are doing what they want. The opposite can be said for Guess Who. They're reacting to the ball. They see the ball nearby, they go for it. And that is why they're double committing. That's why they're not finding each other, because they're not presenting themselves with control.
It's going to sound a little bit weird here, Gregan. However, I just saw the dudes taking a swig of water. You know what I noticed? Calm hands. They're not shaking.
That's true. That was something we saw yesterday when Marky had that hype win and he went to drink his water and he was shaking, because these guys, they're just playing as they would. They're calm. They know what they're doing. They're doing it right.
So Guess Who? The real question is, guess who is going to step up for them, because they need someone to be their hero. In fact, no, I'm going to take that back entirely. I don't want to see any more individual plays. I don't want to see anyone else trying to be the individual hero. Come together as a team, start the passing plays going, because individually, they are not beating the dudes.
You are only as strong as the sum of the parts, and at the moment, those parts are broken down to their individual units, and you just cannot work 1v3 at this level of Rocket League. The dudes have shown why that is the case. Now, we need to see a step up.
That's going to be loose to start, and the dudes, it took them 5 seconds. This is really happening, Gregan.
This is actually happening right now. Joro, point blank range, aims behind Pashi, so close to making the save Pashi there, but Joro smartly aiming where he comes from because he cannot go backwards. And that's not even a kickoff goal. That's just good skill that has been presented in the right situation, and a mistake from Pashi to center it.
Long ball play. Joro can't quite get there. Dax B is around for a long clear. Now she tries to keep it safe, however, no one on the dudes able to follow up. That is a poor rotation from them. Very peak, early shot. A little bit wasteful from him, could have potentially taken it down, or maybe shot lower. He already knows everyone's going to probably pre-jump him. Joro now by himself, trying to force some more challenges as he gets his team back into the correct rotation. Long ball from Freaky, straight over to Illusion, who holds himself in net. Now Fairy Peak goes for an infield pass. That's a better idea from Guess Who, but it needs to be better communicated and used in a smarter situation because no one was around to follow up. Now Fairy, trying to go down the line, hoping that no one being there will not dissuade Fairy from trying to go for more passing plays, because it's been very individual so far. Speaking of which, the dudes cannot afford to be that wasteful. They've effectively
needs to
passed
be a
it to their
goal.
opponents. But guess who? Unable to turn it in. That was a big chance.
They hit the backboard once again. They're just doing this too much at the moment. Everything seems to be the shot being the problem.
Very big and Pashy getting in each other's way yet again. Clear shall happen. Joro looking for the corner. Slow down guess who's play just a little bit more. Joro, I'll give him the title of something. He looks really annoying to play against. Every single time he plays the ball, he just chases after it and gets in the way of the defender.
Expand that to the dudes. They are just aggressive, but in a smart way. They're aggressive
One
as
person's
a unit.
aggressive.
I think they're all giving it a go. They're all having a good old charge down of that ball. But yes, Joro is the main one doing so, as that should be a goal. Again, an opportunity missed. Pashy not finishing at the final moment.
That's twice now within the last minute we've seen the dudes be a little bit lax on their defense. Hopefully the situation isn't starting to get to them, as guess who are able to put on some offense. Very Peak off the backboard. Two players were already involved in the other passing play, meaning no one is available to come for the shot. Joro with the miss up in the air. Guess who will be seeing this and start to move forward more and more as Very Peak turns the ball in.
Very Peak able to shoot well this series, we've noticed. He just needs to be presented with more opportunities just like that from Freaky. If I told you that Pashy on this Guess Who team was the golden striker of Season 4, you would not believe me, because he is just not looking powerful when it becomes the striking situation for him.
There's going to be Joro yet again with the shot. Freaky barely able to get there in time. That would have been really embarrassing as the dudes. They are pretty much controlling every play immediately off the kickoff. Guess who need to change that as Joro. Well, I don't think he even really phased Very Peak just there, just jumping past. Lucian forcing the block. Always going for those challenges second, meaning that they're more likely to win. Another block yet again. Very Peak will clatter. However, Lucian's got time, goes over through the middle. Pashy is the savior for his team. A game that they must win. Guess who? Still trying to break them down one more time. The dudes just after one more goal to put them through to day 3. That's almost another major defensive mistake. Almost a little bit too often now seen in this game by the dudes. Joro wants to put off the backboard, follow up, not going to come in. Recognizing that Freaky was first, now can take it to the other end of the pitch. No one on the wall means that the potential there, but Axe B does get there. It's going to be put down. Very Peak watches Freaky and Pashy are there in time, but now the dudes are going to put forward their own siege. A lot of players committed. Joro dives straight in. Potential now, but Lucian's playing this very well, keeping it out of the hands of Very Peak and Freaky, who you know wanted to just capitalize and go on the offense.
Good old time wasting. Well done by Lucian. Just noticing a lot of these challenges are going very much in favor of dudes, and that's a big part of the game. If you can win out and start swaying the odds in your favor, then you can really change the rhythm of the game. As that shot for Freaky, close range, that puts Guess Who in the lead in the final minute.
We want to see more team plays. We just got some team plays. Very selfless there from Very Peak. Finds Freaky. And those shots are nearly impossible to ever read. You just jump and hope that the ball will hit your car. 43 seconds remaining, and Guess Who, for the first time in a while, can head into the final minute not chasing.
Oh, that's gonna be
it's just got even better.
Kickoffs have definitely been in favor of dudes, but on this occasion, we see a kickoff goal to Guess Who. Just that kickoff, the one where you try and keep it neutral in the middle and keep it still. If it ever gets past the cheating player, you're never going to be able to score. Well, never going to be able to even stop the goal.
Absolutely, you might as well just watch. Yeah. You are a glorified spectator at that point in time, and Guess Who, with another good kickoff for themselves. Are we interested to note heading into Game 5? The dudes cannot quite turn in 2 more goals. Lucian up on the wall. He's played this very well. He's made it difficult. I feel like he's got more out of that than he ever should have done, but he's been very smart when he's had time and boost just to create incredible individual plays. As we do head down the clock in Game 4, we're going to head into a tiebreaker. The winner will go into Day 3. The loser will go home. Bregan, Game 5.
Game 5 between the two losers bracket qualifiers from the DreamHack Open Online qualifiers, and they're now here. This is the most important game. Yes, they got their travel everything through those qualifiers. They've come all this way, but no game is more important than one that gets you in the money. This is the point that matters the most. And there he is, Fairy Peak. He is so important to this team. It's been spoken about today whether he is one of the best players in the world. Today, he's not shown that. But at any point, he can step up and do that. That is the way of top level players. Will it be Fairy Peak to bring it home, or will it be the dudes? I say Fairy Peak. There's Freaky and Pashy too, but will it be Guess Who? Oh, don't dab, please.
How dare you?
I don't know what that guy behind him was doing. He was like doing a bird with his hands. There's an important match about to happen.
Gregan's always judging you, by the way. That's just how he is.
You get
Gregan,
one.
let's judge the match we've got right now. We've seen 4 games go. Guess Who? They've looked shaky. Last game, they looked a lot more solid with more team plays happening. What's the keys right now for both teams to take the win?
Score more goals than the opposition.
Well, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Game 5 will be decided by who scores more goals.
Indeed.
As Lucian would like to be the first player to add a goal to the tally. Instead, dispossessed pretty quickly. Joro off the backboard. Potential for a follow-up, but instead left behind. Interesting to note that the dudes have got less and less willing to go for those backboard shots as the series has progressed. Maybe a sign of nerves heading into Game 5. Fairy Peak plays long. He's got Pashy to aim for. He wants to take out a single player and then continue to follow up. Plenty of long clears coming in from the dudes, but they're not in a position to hit and chase like they were in a few of the previous games. Pashy chooses to leave it. He recognizes he had no one to aim for. Everyone was all the way back, so good improvisation by the Guess Who captain. And the dudes are looking swarmed right now. Guess Who dominating the opening minutes.
They've just paced it up. You ask what they need to do to win, and it's been a bit slow, a little bit chaotic in the way they're choosing to go for the ball on the side of Guess Who. But with speed comes that precision. When you get to the ball, you have a lot more control over what you can do, and I'm noticing that from Guess Who now, but dudes have a chance now to pace it back up themselves and potentially create an opportunity. This could be it.
Off the backboard, Freaky gets there just in time. Lucian with control. Yet another flick up. The dudes setting themselves up for the seed. They want to try and put this in click. They want to go into the same position they've taken almost every single one of their wins so far, get an early lead, and force Guess Who to make mistakes, but it will be Fairy Peak yet again getting a goal.
Fairy Peak scoring, but that was Pashy, the one setting it up. You see there, the near post defender charging a little bit too close. And Fairy Peak waiting in the middle to slot that one home. He's not missing that one. Set up perfectly, and just notice how much faster Guess Who are playing now. It's almost as if they just psyched themselves up for this final game and said, we need to win this.
Absolutely. Overwhelm your opponents. Get yourselves into day 3 as Pashy over to the wall. Dudes can make something of this, but they are bumping each other over in the back. Joro forced to move forward. Not really too much going to be created from the corner, although there's a couple of mistakes coming in. Actually, I'm going to retract that one. It looks like Pashy did call them off. Shot from Joro, not on target. Freaky will happily control the ball. Fairy's got options. Goes for Pashy all the way downfield. He will have to chase. Joro's touch not overly convincing, and the dudes very, very panicky with their defense. No one from Guess Who was really around except for shadowing to see if they could catch onto a clear, but instead using a lot of boost for aerials that could potentially really go against them if the wall bounce wasn't very nice. Now they're stuck in their own half. Pashy can make this awkward. Takes out one player. Back over to the corner. Freaky has options around. It will be Pashy. More and more passing plays coming out from Guess Who in Game 5. Freaky, though, he's made a complete and utter kerfuffle out of that one. Guess Who have dropped their lead.
Just look at he's going back there. Fairy Peak, very strong to go forward there, expecting of his teammates to cover behind, trying to predict the block, but no, it gets past him, and Freaky, with no boost, you do not want to hit those brakes because you're not getting up to top speed in a while. and it bobbles past him into the goal, and that levels the scoreline.
Guess who need to keep it playing at the pace they were to start us off this game. They cannot afford to start getting into their own heads. Very big, almost gets there. Even with the block, that was not his original intention. Managed to fling the ball into the net. Fairy Peak, once again, looking for Pashy, who just seems to be the target man right now. Gets the double tap down. Fairy Peak now up in the air. Freaky is waiting. He is going to shoot. Just about saved by Joro. But the dudes are on the back foot right now. They need to find a way out. As Axby will clear towards the middle. Aleutian does win the challenge. It could be in. Goes off the post. It would have been close, but I doubt the defender would have been there in time. There's another shot.
Power.
Freaky. Power. Precision. 2-1.
Just see that pop up between Fairy Peak and Freaky. Look how little boost he had there that whole time. He used the pads he found on the ground, maintained that momentum, and tipped that ball forward into the gap. That puts Guess Who ahead, and it has been done with a lot more control this game. They're looking faster, they're looking for each other, and looking more like their former selves we're used to.
Can't disagree with you on that. However, the dudes have got one final chance. They just need a goal, and they will tie us up yet again. Ball bounced straight down. Joro's been caught.
That's
That is going to go coast to coast. And Guess Who are going to start feeling that little bit more comfortable.
They haven't been particularly smiley so far, but we just saw a big old grin from Pashy as that goal goes in, because it's not necessarily a gift. They worked for that in defense, but that is an overcommitment right there from dudes. They're not relying on their pressure that they've been doing all series long. They're trying to create a goal out of nothing.
Is that smile happiness or relief from Pashy right now? As the dudes have got to find 2 goals. Fairy Peak is going blue car hunting, and there is the follow-up from Pashy. 3 goals now, and it looks like Guess Who have managed to weather the storm and are very much on their way to Championship Sunday.
You could see him following that up, and he thought there's no way he's reading that, but he's just there in case no defender gets a touch away. And you've got to remember, dudes are probably not used to this kind of pressure in a game. They've not been here before, and it's showing that they just can't deal with a strong Guess Who lineup in a match point.
Pashy plays it down to Fairy Peak, but with 30 seconds remaining, the dudes have got to score 1 every 10 seconds. And even by the time I say that sentence, that time has been cut down significantly. Fairy Peak turns it in yet again. Classic Guess Who performance. They got the lead, and they have just squeezed the dudes out as they got more desperate.
Just got a feel for the dudes. Look at them in there. They're just sitting there, and they know they cannot do anything.
It was that close.
It was
so really
close.
was that close.
They almost had it. They came across Guess Who, arguably not in form. And dudes were playing incredibly well with great control, and it's just that step up from Guess Who.
There's 6.
You've got to feel for them. There's nothing they can do now. They've just got to play out the rest of this game, but that means we'll be seeing Guess Who tomorrow. Definitely before this tournament began, you'd say probably going to be there. Guess Who? After seeing them throughout today and yesterday, a little bit less of a question that you'd expect to be answered with, of course. But now we see them go on. They're going on to day 3, in for the money.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, your German representatives, Pashy and Freaky, will go along with their teammate Fairy Peak, and we'll be seeing them tomorrow. Congratulations to Guess Who.
And congratulations to dudes. They've done so well to get to this stage. They've answered so many people, whether if it's a luck thing, whether they've done this out of pure chance, but they have proven that they are a quality team. They can perform on the big stage. And it's almost a shame this is the only game we got to see them play, because they have done so well at this tournament. Well played, dudes, and good luck to Guess Who tomorrow.
Absolutely. It just seemed like by the end that the only difference was experience. The dudes started to wind down their aggression heading into games 4 and 5. By the end of game 5, obviously they had it back, but by that time it was just way too late and the game was far away gone.
Look at them, still smiling.
I mean, they know they've done well. They've performed above and beyond expectations ever since qualifying online and upsetting everyone. There's no way they can be anywhere near upset with how they've done in this tournament. And to break it all down, we're going to hand it over to Axel Toss and the desk.
Thank you, Shogun and Gregan. What a match there. I feel a little heartbroken for the dudes. They were in such a great position there to pull off the upset of the year. the upset of the tournament without a doubt, and they were so close to making it happen. But that's just the story of tournament play. You're going to get moments like that. Maybe it shows a little bit of a lack of experience. Maybe it shows just how good Guess Who is. You know, that's a superstar lineup. But all the credit in the world to this team that came out of nowhere to make a ridiculous run in DreamHack Open. And I want to call out the Twitch chat. You all are fools. I'm just kidding. You guys are nice. Thanks for watching. Please don't leave. But 95% of the Twitch chat picked Guess Who, and I feel like...
And 95 of them were
I'm
proved right.
But I feel like, yeah.
Barely.
They're saying they felt...
Barely.
I see some people saying they felt a little foolish, you know, as you know, the dudes almost pulled it out. They almost
really
won
did.
that.
You have
They
to
really did. It
respect
was
any
that close.
team who can make it even as far as the dudes did. Regardless, like it's unbelievable the performance that they've had to be able to go up against Guess Who, a team full of superstars, and to be able to really bring it to them and put them on their back legs. That there's nothing but respect.
I mean, they were 7 seconds away from winning that game too, or 7 or 8 seconds away. They gave up that equalizer at 8 seconds and then lost the overtime. It's like, and then they won game 3. It's like that could have been it. Just bam, 3-0 sweep. See you, Guess Who.
Not today though. Guess Who able to prevail. They're advancing on to tomorrow, and we get to talk to Pashy, who is standing by. Pashy, congratulations on your victory. The first thing I want to ask you, man, did you expect that from the dudes? How are you feeling during that series? Were you a little nervous there that this team was about to take you out?
You should call us nervous dudes, because we were like super nervous against Dignitas. We were already like nervous, but then against the dudes, we played them before. We 3-0'd them, and then they played way better like this game. So we were like, how can they improve so much? And yeah, we were really nervous. I did some stupid mistakes. We all did stupid things that we never do actually. So yeah, it was a tough game.
Yeah, and you look at your performance throughout the series, it really kind of took a while to get you guys going. I mean, they were really just beating you guys up, it felt like, in game number 1 and in game number 2. But when you were able to turn it around in game number 2, what was going through your guys' heads thinking, okay, can we do this? I mean, what were you feeling at that moment?
We just tried to have like fun. We said stupid things in voice to feel a bit fresh. So yeah, we were like really nervous, so we just tried to have fun playing and said like, even if we lose, who cares? There's some other good teams got beat by teams that they should normally not lose to. And we said if it happens to us, it happens, but we still wanted to win, of course.
Yeah, flashbacks to season 1, right?
Yeah, man. I hope I never face you again, Quinn. Wow. That guy who's standing in the middle always beats me, so I hope I never have to play him
I got
again.
lucky, man. I got lucky.
You guys definitely really turned it around, though, especially in those games 4 and 5. I mean, in games 1 through 3, the dudes are able to find the back of the net 3 times a game, and then at least. And then in games 4 and 5, you held them in both games to 1 goal. What did you guys finally figure out in those games 4 and 5?
I mean, we saw the Twitch chat. They voted like 5% for the dudes to win, and we wanted to show them that that they are also a good team. That's why you made it so close.
Nice guy, Pashy. Okay.
Last question for you here. You play Gale Force tomorrow. What's going to be the strategy for you guys tonight as far as preparing and making sure you're ready to go? And how are you feeling going into that match?
I hope the Twitch chat also votes 5% for us. so Gale Force is not going to show their full power now. But I mean, we played them so many times. We didn't play them for like 3 months. I think we're both not at our best at the moment. So I think it can go either way. But Gale Force is, of course, the favorite.
And one more thing, amazing German audience here. You're from Germany as well. Do you want any words in German that you want to say to the fans here or people watching?
Ich hasse euch alle. That's my words.
Thanks, Pashy. Good luck tomorrow, man.
Thanks, man.
All right, that's Pashy from Guess Who. They're advancing on to tomorrow to play against Gale Force. So not going to get any easier for them, and that's certainly going to be an awesome matchup. What did he say? I don't know what he said. All right, anyway.
We'll go ask.
Thanks a lot, Pashy. Let's take a look at the highlights there. Between the dudes and Guess Who, a matchup where Twitch chat, you guys were almost so foolish, but Guess Who prevailing in the end.
Oh, game number 1. This wonderful dribble from AXB, that kick-started all of the success for this team. It was just absolutely incredible to watch.
It was really games number 1 and 2. I mean, the dudes came out and kind of smacked them right in the mouth. A lot of crazy offense out of nowhere from a lot of these guys, but that one, in that game number 2, the go-ahead, the winner in overtime, just one little mistake, and that's going to be the one that haunts them for a long time.
But look at that shot. I mean, this is a wonderful team. That is not easy to do by any means. And you could tell that guess who? I mean, they were slow to challenge that ball. They didn't expect that level of skill themselves from this team, and the dudes surely proved them wrong.
Yeah, the dudes really played some great textbook Rocket League. You and I were talking a little bit about it. It's like they're not even doing anything really crazy. They're just getting on them quick in the midfield. They're making solid challenges. They're getting the ball really fast. And, I mean, they didn't even have to pass the ball too much. Just kind of just beating them straight to the ball and then playing it well off the walls.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Surprised me a bunch, the dudes, not only from the qualifiers, but also this weekend. Just want to give them so many shout-outs, but they are going to be out of the tournament. I'm sure they'll be back and fighting in many future Rocket League competitions. But we have one more match left on the day, and it's a doozy. It's G2 against Fnatic. Ladies and gents, we have one more break here, and then we're going to jump into the last match of the evening. And it's going to be pretty amazing. So make sure you get all your friends in here as we find out who is the final team to advance to Championship Sunday here from the DreamHack Open. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.